Now, we know that President Trump described the President Ahmad al-Sharia as having a tough past and having a very strong leader personality. How would you describe him?
You can definitely see that he has got a very strong personality, but there's also a soft spot for him. And that softness in what I see is, which is why I have such hope for Syria. You know, Iraq has been plagued with so many issues through the years because of sectarianism. You know, you would ask someone in Iraq, for example, you know, what are you? And they would say, oh, I'm Kurdish, or I'm Sunnah, or I'm Shia, or I'm Qadiyya, whatever the case may be. Syrians represent themselves with nationalistic pride to say, I'm Syrian. And I see that that softness for al-Sharia is the fact that Syria is a nation that he really wants to see stable again. He doesn't want to see the dictatorship, the authoritarianism, the brutal kind of and horrendous barbarism that was performed under the Assad regime for decades. And I think that if there was a weakness in him, that weakness would be his love of nation. And I think that's a good weakness to have. With regards to a strong personality, you have to have it in the position that he's in. You can't have a weak president or just a politician when you're talking about integrating and dealing with foreign fighters. You're dealing with extremism. You're dealing with such a wide variety of different secular beliefs. I mean, this is a very poverty. I mean, infrastructure development. How many buildings and cities have been destroyed under the Assad regime?
Have you visited any of the destroyed areas?
I went to Joba as an example, which was completely demolished. And you know, this is an area which wasn't an area of poverty. It was actually one of the wealthier areas. One of the trips we recently took, which was really a blessing, is we went to the top of the mountain where you can see all of Damascus. And it's such a beautiful view. And I remember we were sitting there, it was actually, yes, where actually one of the first radio towers and stations was. But then you look at the history and think, this is where Assad used to stand and launch barrels of chemicals at his own people. This is an area they utilized to be able to fire and destroy cities like Joba. And you think to yourself, what kind of madman, what kind of leader can look down on his people from one of the most beautiful mountain scenes and think, my job is to commit genocide? And so, you know,